Oh, my first day in in class up at Georgia, John Waters, who's the head of the preservation department, you're doing a little name roll call, and it was like Elizabeth Barker. So is your goal in life to be Janice Biggers?
Well,
And I looked at her like, yes, sir, it is. It's not a bad goal.
what did you think when the professor said that?
I was like, you know me,
But that speaks to Columbus being known on a state level
Yes.
for historic preservation as much as it does in this bigger.
Janice made certain historic Columbus was known not only on a state level but also a national level. Columbus actually has been on point with the national movement from day one. The National Preservation Act was passed in 1966. Historic Columbus was founded in 1966. Initially, you had focus being on house museums, which was Historic Columbus's initial focus, along with determining, what were your oldest areas in town that you needed to try and designate as a National Register district and trying to protect. Then it morphed into historic downtowns and that redevelopment, and then further out to historic neighborhoods in the suburbs. So you can sort of track what we've been doing over the past 50 years with how the movement has been moving. The Springer Opera House is the reason for it all. It was the line in the sand. It was what made people, especially that small group, really wake up and go, we're not going to take this anymore, and we need to preserve what makes us special as Columbus, and that was the beginning.
What's the most historic structure in the city?
Well, that's very hard to say. You can go simply by age, which the Walker Peters Langdon House is our oldest house here in the city. The log cabin, which we've just moved to Heritage Park, it's the oldest known structure. It's about 1800, and also St. Elmo is one of the earliest homes that was built.
What did you think when you heard the my house had burned or was on fire?
I really didn't want to believe it, because it was one of those things that I just couldn't wrap my head around. And I even waited a day or so to actually go down there, because I couldn't look at it.
Nearly a year later, it's still emotional to you.
Yeah.
You're emotional thinking and talking about it right now.
Well, and it was very emotional for a lot of people.
City Mills was recently purchased by Attorney Ken Henson.
Yes.
Historic Columbus Foundation has joined in a partnership with Ken to restore that building to some degree, right?
Ken approached Historic Columbus earlier this year to join with him to become a partner in stabilizing the two mill structures that are remaining. And so our initial phase that our board has approved of doing is to stabilize them, which means to make sure that they are safe when you walk in. The building that is closest to the First Avenue, unfortunately, has a large hole in its roof, and so there will be a lot more stabilization work on that structure. Total stabilization is $1.2 million, and that leaves you with basically a dark black box. It's safe to go in, but it's not installing new windows or appropriate windows or flooring. It's just making it safe so that others can then see the vision of what it can become again. From an advocacy standpoint, it's a part of our mission to advocate the benefits of historic preservation, to encourage more investment, and to encourage more understanding about how to maintain a historic property, and to ensure that it will continue to be around.
A minute ago, you said the university professor said, do you want to be the next Janice Biggers? Well, have you become the next Janice Biggers?
No, there will never be another Janice Biggers. But hopefully